Commissioner Henry will be presenting the ad hoc work done by myself, Commissioner Samanek, and Commissioner Wilkins. Sabrina, do you have the presentation? Can you put it up on the screen?
I don't have it. Can you?
Do we have it on
No.
the agenda?
No,
Like,
that's
can you-
all right. I'll just go through it real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead and turn to
Oh,
I
paper.
don't have it because
the handout that you received. There's been a lot of changes since then, so.
Commissioner Henry, can I interrupt you?
One more time?
I believe I was supposed to call on Ed Rast
No, go
first.
ahead. First.
Sorry about that. Just
No.
got the paper.
I can't hear you.
Recognizing you for comment, please,
All right, thank
for
you.
2 minutes.
One of the commission may want to bring a guest speaker in. His name is David Ginsburg. He's the assistant assessor. He is very familiar with oversight committees. He started an organization for oversight committees. And I was with him when he was chair of the one for the water district. So he's very experienced. He's, as I said, he's the assistant assessor for Larry Stone. And I think he would be very knowledgeable about that, and I think he'd help you a lot. His name is David Ginsburg.
and I'm sorry, that was public comment for item 6A?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Ed. Commissioner Henry, forgive me. Please proceed.
So, we're trying to get a roadshow happening like we did last time. Same principle. We just want to do a little bit more of them, perhaps, and have a couple of different guest speakers, in essence. I know that the ad hoc committee has gotten several requests from city council that are interested in maybe having it in their district. We're going through that motion. Our topics of interest would be, Nicole took some time and revamped what is a neighborhoods commission. So it has all of our up-to-date information, same slideshow presentation. We added illegal fireworks and illegal dumping and fostering neighborhood association. We weren't really, I should say, I wasn't really know where David wanted to take his idea, but it seems like the idea would be working with neighborhood leadership group from each district, and fostering meaning helping out a neighborhood association succeed. Two different levels on how to create one and how to help one to be more successful. We had a list of guest speakers selected. One was the Office of Emergency Services in regards to the new CERT program that Ray Reardon wanted to put forth in the district, or I should say the city. Also, we had up is code enforcement, high-speed rail, and what could the neighborhood do for smart city. These are just guest speakers that would go out in between the slideshows that the different commissioners would be putting out, and only one guest speaker per show. So we had enough guest speakers listed so we could have up to 4 shows, and if we have all 4 shows, that'd be great. If not, we have enough to pick from, depending on what district. We also, I wrote a little note that thanks to John Samanek, we had an appendix put in for commonly used phone numbers that neighbors wanted to know or call in case of a certain situation. One is Animal Services, Code Enforcement, Housing Commission in regards to homelessness and housing, public safety, and transportation. Now, these appendix are in the back of the presentation, and it'll just list names and phone numbers, and hopefully we can get these printed for the public to take home with them to have handy. I'm going to turn over the next two slides to Nicole. Outreach for advertisement and key for consideration, and then I'll pick up after for the sampling slide roadshow. Nicole?
Thank you.
Do we have a page number?
Page 3.
Page 3.
So as we were developing this, as the ad hoc was developing this, a couple concerns that came up, we wanted to ensure that we address them in advance of going out and hitting the road. So some of them relate to outreach, which is really the key. We can push as much as we want, but how do we create a poll? And I think that's an overarching question for all of us. So outreach for advertisement was a key concern, how we would get the word out. One obvious way would be Nextdoor, as we have the privilege that Commissioner Samanik has secured for us. What access questions would be, what access do we have for media lists that belong to council members, advertisements on websites from council members. One key consideration is at the bottom, quote, "No one knows who we are." I hear this a lot. I actually heard this from a council member that I met with last week. Nicely, very generously offered as good feedback, but keeping in mind that I was sharing this great idea, and the person was just quizzically looking at me like, we don't know what the Neighborhoods Commission is. And I'm super excited about it. I think it's very valuable. But how to frame what the commission does. One way to do that, obviously, is to partner with our council members, who to date have seemed very interested in partnering. Continuing with considerations, I probably should have put this first, but how do we ensure Brown Act compliance? So these are quasi-public, the ad hocs are obviously compliant, but how do we ensure that we're completely compliant with this seemingly relatively new idea? How do associations include more than one language? We speak many, many languages in this city. How do we include the translators? So when we're addressing the idea of how to start neighborhood associations, how do we include the idea that those associations include one language? And also, how do we include the idea that the roadshow itself includes more than one language? Overall, how does the Neighborhoods Commission include everyone? How do we avoid disenfranchising neighbors who are not online, who don't work 9 to 5? Examples here are needing to provide flyers versus Nextdoor, and or having different meetings at different times. So maybe having the roadshow at 3 different time slots, one in the evening, one on a weekend, and then one on midday. I don't know how we would work that, but I wanted to raise that as a possible question if we make this into an ongoing thing. And then again, this no one knows who we are. Just keeping that front of mind that we love to go running out into the community. People know us in our communities, but they may not see us inside the context of the Neighborhoods Commission, and it's almost guaranteed that they don't know that our scope is code enforcement, public safety, and transportation. So as pointing those out as things to think about as we consider taking a vote on this, that we'll need to hammer through those, and those may not be quick things to resolve. Working through, the city has been very responsive in everything I've worked on, but we'll need to make sure that we're methodical in that regard. Those are my 2 slides.
Okay. With that said, we're just hoping to, the next time that we come here with the actual presentation that we're going to show, that we could get some of the answers to our questions that we have, not necessarily answer them now. Okay, so we're going back to the slideshow. And this is on page 5 on the top of the page. It's just your normal slideshow introducing the Fostering Neighborhoods tools and resources, the agenda, the ad hoc committee members, and then the purpose and the communication and the key channels on how to direct these questions. Nicole went and merely updated what is a Neighborhoods Commission. So that's why it's pretty much set in stone, and it's just like you saw it last time. On page 9, we said we put down, how do we start a neighborhood association? This is in part what fostering a neighborhood association would entail. Is just the second part. The first part would be getting the neighborhood leadership groups involved in helping hold neighborhoods together and offering assistance. And I don't know what that entails of, except drawing out an idea of how to, a template to give them, to help them out. These are just some of the thoughts that we were having after we picked David's head a little bit and got his vision on how he saw this. Now we're kind of elaborating within the group to make it more robust. Guest speakers, just a placeholder. It would happen after who's neighborhood commission, whoever we pick as a guest speaker. We plan on having meetings with these guest speakers to narrow down the scope of what they want to discuss, how we can help them, and what we can do to better further their expectations of what they want to accomplish per se under our scope. Transportation, public safety, these are all part of the appendix that actually John Semanek came up with. There is one part in here that is not listed that I'd like to point out is the illegal fireworks and illegal dumping. We added these as a slideshow presentation that part of them didn't, for whatever reason, did not get added. But we were going to, since these two ad hocs were dismissed for us having so many projects, we just, put them on ourselves to have a slideshow to let everybody know that these areas are not dead. We're still looking into it. This is what we're coming up with, and to let them know that we're still hearing them. The appendix on 14 is just that, illegal dumping, illegal fireworks, and the appendix of animal services, homelessness, public safety, and transportation. These were all courtesy of John putting these together, other than the slideshows for the illegal dumping and the illegal fireworks that didn't get added into this. But as far as anything else, I just wanted to know, well, I guess we're having you approve the template. I guess that's the bottom line, is if you like the direction that we're going in and you think that it would be worthwhile, then we can go ahead and proceed on. I will make up a list of questions and submit them to Sabrina for your consideration, and then she can send them out to get you an idea of what we would like to talk about or you to approve of next meeting.
Vice Chair Fleming. Guiding.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take questions now. Commissioner Navarro?
I want to know how long the meeting would normally be set for, because I know that that's one of the things that most people that have never even been to a neighborhood meeting, if it drags on too long for them, because they're not used to them having 2-hour meetings, would adding that speaker add to the 2 hours, or is it just going to be 2 hours?
Are you talking specifically for the road show?
Correct, I'm sorry, yes.
Oh, I plan on not being so long on some areas. I mean, like Nicole, when we did it last time, I think it lasted 20 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, with questions. We got out of there. We actually got out of there early by about a half hour, roughly. So by us adding a speaker on, it might run about exactly 2 hours, but we don't know because we haven't tested the slideshows for each individual to get a range of how long each one would be.
Perfect, thank you.
Commissioner Semanek?
Yeah, I just want to mention 2 comments. The reason the appendix were put in, we can envision these people coming in as community may ask about things that are important to their community, like animal services. We weren't going to dwell on that, but it's there from an informational standpoint, so that won't be part of the official presentation per se, just the slide deck. It'll be in there, but
Oh, no,
it'll be-
it won't be in the slide deck. It would just be
Right.
available to.
Exactly. So it's reference
handout.
material. So I think it's important
Yes.
to mention that. Page number 6, one area I'm really foggy about is the merchandising. Talk about communication channels, next door, flyers, email, various online outlets. So I think we need to have that clearly defined so there's no misunderstanding of what we can use or not use.
Right, and I think that by the list of what we're going to give them, and I'm going to submit it to Sabrina, they'll have a better detailed information on how to do that. And if you would like to
Yeah.
engage me with that
So
later.
I just want to dwell on, I think we need that clearly defined so there's no.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's it.
So before I call on Commissioner Carter, just remember we are in technical question form. So Commissioner Carter?
Yes, overall, I liked the presentation. I attended the last neighborhood roadshow, and I enjoyed it. Thought it was good. Just wanted to follow up with how are you proposing to get feedback back to the neighborhoods in questions that they ask that haven't been answered? Is there a mechanism for
Yeah,
that?
we didn't mention that. Our intent was, if I can say, that we had people sign in, so we have all their email addresses, so we can do, we didn't talk about this in detail, but we can make a summation of their questions and answers, send it out to everybody that signed in.
Right. I mean, we can also propose the questions to you. Exactly. We had them, we got answers for them last time, and we responded to
Right.
them. If you want to do it by individual or commission, I feel free to do either or.
Yeah, I'm just considering the questions that maybe you can't answer that evening or that afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we go back to the source. Most of them last time was from the budget games.
Yeah, right.
The rest was answered, and then Jonathan had to go get some answers to some of the questions, but he went right to the source and got the answers. So I don't know if you want to be a part of that, or just us giving you information, or do you want to have a discussion on it? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Okay. I would think that, as a suggestion, it'd be good to have one point of contact, and maybe that be the commissioner for that district, to funnel questions back through them. I mean, that's the only
Perfect.
suggestion. I mean,
Perfect. No, that's perfect. Are you suggesting that you would like to have it in your district?
we would like to have it in our district. I'm just not ready to commit to having it. How
I
about
was
that?
just asking, just reaching out.
I have to consult with my cohort.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Oh, Commissioner Colstead.
Yeah, I've got, it's not really a question, it's a suggestion. I notice on page 5 on the agenda for the Fostering Neighborhoods Associations, there's a 10-minute segment here called Welcome the Neighborhoods Commission Overview. Could part of this project, the roadshow project, be a 10-minute video that we could put up on a web someplace that we could show at any given meeting? So we don't want the full roadshow, but this, to Nicole's point, who the hell are we? What do we do? If we had a short 5 to 10 minute, nothing longer than that, this is what it's about, that would lead into further conversations. And what I'm really looking for, to be honest with you, is the caucus process, which is going to have to start up in December. And we need to go to each of the odd districts and make a presentation to them and say, this is what's going on. We need to recruit people, we need to vet them, we need to
So
educate them.
you're saying a video
A quick video, yeah. 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
in a particular hot topic?
No, what is the commission?
Okay.
You know,
No.
it's what you're doing. It's the road show, but compressed down to 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, for a spoiler or for an actual being part of the roadshow?
Oh, no, independent of the road show.
Okay, gotcha.
So a mini road show, think about it.
Yeah, like a little spoiler.
Yes. It's what your 7 o'clock item is on the Fostering Neighborhoods agenda.
Mhm.
Okay, Welcome and Neighborhoods Commission Overview.
Okay,
What is that?
okay, gotcha. No, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Did you have a, Commissioner Navarro?
Sorry, I love that idea, Commissioner Colstead. You could even get that same video, and if the city allows it, we can put it on the link when it talks about the commission, so that they could see, not just the people that come to the meetings, but whoever is on the city website can, look at that and know exactly, that we exist, because there's a lot of people that don't even go to the meetings, but they tend to kind of go online and see if we put it on Nextdoor, and they can also look at it there. And so if necessarily they didn't come to the meeting, they got a little glimpse of it. That's a great idea.
Is anybody camera shy?
Too late, seriously.
Are there any other questions?
Okay, so the action on this item, thank you, Vice Chair Fleming. The action on this item is to vote to approve continued development of the slideshow presentation that you've seen and include preparations for holding the first Neighborhoods Commission meeting for fiscal 2017-2018. I may add, sorry, just one thing. I believe Commissioner Henry was going to say that his commission has a strong interest in a December event. So
Yeah.
perhaps assuming we move forward, the timeline would be pretty quick. So,
Yeah, that was in the second slide. I just failed to mention it. Yeah, it's one of those things where my district wants to have this. They suggested before the end of the year, but we have to come back and get the final approval for all the slideshows by November. And if we were working towards this goal, then I would want to get the guest speaker as soon as possible prior to our next meeting, and then I can give you something on their behalf. And I don't know, is that something that you want to see them in here as well, or can I just present the template that they want to use? That's a question.
and I added some complexity to that when I brought this up, but let's see if there's a motion to approve proceeding. Is there a motion? Commissioner,
To make a motion to proceed based on this framework that was presented, and obviously filling in the blanks and proceeding. But I think part of this motion includes clear definition of how we communicate this out to the community.
Okay.
That needs to be clearly articulated.
at our next meeting? Okay.
I second.
Second from Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor? Ayes. Commissioner Samanik, Commissioner Lebowski, Commissioner Navarro, Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Hernandez, Commissioner Dreas, Commissioner Fleming, Commissioner Giammona, Commissioner Martin, Commissioner Colstead, I'm Henry, sorry. Commissioner Henry and Commissioner Wilkins, excuse me. Thank you. Unanimous. Thank you very much. Next item. Is there any way this can be up on a screen? Do we have internet? It's so pretty. If it's not, that's fine.
Sabrina, if you hand me the cord, I could put it in my computer and pop it out.
Will the cord reach?
That long VGA cable will reach all the way to the front.
Oh, maybe they're not all.
Not this one. Change the cable.
You can change the cable.
Sorry.
If it's super complex, we don't have to do it.
Used to be one here.
Lots of cable. So, oh no, it is this cable.
You speak VGA, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Just go that way, screw it. Too hard to crawl underneath there.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.